Today, we're taking on one of the most epic transformations we've ever done. This beautiful lakefront estate is about to get a complete concrete makeover. And when I say complete, I mean driveway, garage. We're doing the side steps, the patio, and even a small little shed pad in the back. We're really doing it all in this one. And you won't believe what this place looks like at the end, so stick around because we even ran into some crazy challenges that almost stopped the job. This driveway was cracked, faded, and honestly embarrassing for a house like this. The garage floor had seen better days, it was worn down and tired. The side walkway steps leading to the front yard were crumbling and uneven, in desperate need of a rebuild. Out back, there was no real spot to enjoy the lake views, just wasted space where a patio should have been. And even the shed sat on rough, unstable ground without a proper pad. Every part of this property needed help, and we were about to transform it all. First day of pouring was all about bringing the project to life. The patio, the shed pad, and the garage floor all went in on the same day. But before we got to the fun part of pouring, obviously as you guys saw, there was a whole lot of hard work behind the scenes. We had to strip everything down, the old concrete, the broken steps, the uneven ground, all of it had to go. And this is where a lot of people underestimate concrete work. It's not just about pouring, the foundation underneath is what makes or breaks a project. Once the demolition was done, we brought in loads of clear stone and carefully built up the base. Every inch had to be leveled and compacted layer by layer until it was rock solid. Without that, the new concrete would eventually crack and sink, and that's not happening on our watch. Think of it this way, it's like building a house. You wouldn't put $1 million home on a shaky foundation. So same thing here, the prep work is what guarantees everything lasts for decades. So when the concrete trucks finally rolled in, we knew we had the perfect canvas to start fresh. That's when we tackled the patio overlooking the lake, gave the shed a proper broom finished pad, and reset the garage with a brand new floor. With the concrete down, it was time to bring out the finishes. We started with the shed pad, simple, clean, and practical. A broom finish gave it just the right texture for grip and durability, keeping that shed stable for years to come. Next up came the patio where the look really starts to change. We worked color hardener directly into the surface of the fresh concrete. This isn't just paint, it bonds with the slab, making the color richer, more durable, and resistant to wear. Once the hardener was in, we troweled it smooth, bringing out that polished look, and then stamped it to add texture and character. What started as plain concrete was now a backyard feature with depth and style. The garage floor got the same treatment. Color hardener was worked into the surface, giving it that extra durability and clean, consistent tone. After troweling it smooth, we locked it in with the finish, a completely fresh look, and a surface tough enough to handle years of use. By the end of day one, we had already transformed 3 major parts of the property, and the same process would follow for the driveway and the steps later in this project. As the project moved along, something unexpected happened. Originally, we weren't even supposed to touch the old concrete steps by the side of the house, but once the homeowner saw the process, the prep, the pours, the finishes, he simply couldn't resist. He wanted everything to match. What started as a few side steps quickly turned into a bigger job, adding in extra steps that weren't even part of the original plan. And honestly, it was a right call. Instead of leaving behind old, tired concrete next to all this fresh new work, the steps became part of the full transformation. Now everything would tie it together seamlessly. The driveway was the biggest part of this project, and of course it all starts with the base. We reshaped the gravel, leveled it out, and compacted it until it was rock solid. Without this step, the concrete wouldn't stand a chance. Cracks and sinking would be guaranteed in just a few years. Once the base was ready, we tied in a full grid of rebar. Think of it like the skeleton inside the driveway. It's what locks everything together and makes it strong enough to handle cars, trucks, or whatever else comes its way. With the groundwork finished, the stage was finally set for one of the biggest pours of the entire job. The driveway was so big we had to split it into 2 pours. Originally, we planned to do it all at once, but during excavation, a water pipe got damaged. We couldn't cover it until the city came in and made the repairs. so we had to hold off on doing that part of the driveway and push forward with this first section. Once the trucks arrived, it was all hands on deck. The crew started with hand screeding, pulling the fresh concrete across the forms to level everything out. Then we went over it with a jitterbug, pushing the aggregate down into the slab to leave a smooth surface on top. After that came the bull float, gliding across the surface, smoothing it out, and setting the stage for the next step. This is where the color hardener comes in. Tossed across the wet concrete, it works its way in as we float it in, bonding with the surface to make the slab stronger, more durable, and give it that rich, consistent color that transforms plain gray into something beautiful. Now came the most satisfying part, finishing the driveway. You've already seen us trowel and stamp on the other pours, but this time it was on a whole new scale. Instead of a small pad or circular patio, we were working across a massive stretch of fresh concrete. The trowels worked the surface smooth, section by section, as the pattern slowly came to life. Every pass of the stamps locked in the texture, turning plain concrete into something that looks designed and custom built for this property. This is the moment when all the prep, all the screeding, all the color hardener finally pays off, when the driveway stops looking like wet concrete and starts looking like a finished product. As you'll see in a little bit, just as we started pouring the new side steps, the weather decided to test us. Out of nowhere, a thunderstorm rolled in, and concrete plus rain is a recipe for disaster. We had to act fast. The crew rushed to cover the fresh steps with plastic, shielding the surface until the storm passed. And the way these steps turned out in the end, well, you'll want to watch until the end, because it definitely didn't go how we expected. With the storm behind us and everything else in place, it was time for the final pour. The second half of the driveway had been waiting since the water pipe repair, and now we could finally bring it all together. This was the last big piece of the puzzle, the stretch that would complete the entrance to the property and tie the whole project together. And just when we thought we were finished, the client decided to add one more detail, a small walkway ramp on the other side of the house. It was a last minute request, but one that made perfect sense. Instead of leaving that space unfinished, we gave it the same treatment as the rest of the job, creating a smooth transition that looked like it was always meant to be there. By the end of this pour, every corner of the property had been touched, from the driveway to the garage, the patio and the steps, even the shed and walkway ramp. The transformation was almost complete. This was one of the biggest transformations we've ever done, and it's proof that with the right vision and the right team, concrete can be absolutely stunning. Now here's a challenge for you. If this was your lakefront estate, what would you add to the backyard? A fire pit, maybe an outdoor kitchen, or maybe even a pool? Comment below, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and we got even more crazy projects coming up for you next.